Saginaw, Michigan, an eclectic laboratory for an opportunity for change. Diverse ethnicities, diverse economies. At one time was a booming automotive hub, and it's here that Open Table comes to answer prayers for congregations and leaders who have been wondering what they can do to help move people from poverty to self-sustaining lifestyles.
I think sometimes a lot of us live in a bubble and not really understand that we really do have a problem in our community.
I served as a pastor here in Saginaw for 5 years before I started PACT. And one of the first things I noticed when I came into this community is that it really largely is a faith community that operated in silos.
In our community, we've seen a lot of division. And I've gotten to know pastors in town from completely different backgrounds than I probably would have ever gotten to know before because we've partnered together on Open Table. It's a common unifying thread among believers.
This process is so critical to Saginaw because it has demonstrated already the ability to coalesce diverse denominations, diverse cultures, diverse ethnicities, and diverse geographies into a process or in a program that has a single goal, and that is the improvement of the life of one individual.
The faith community, especially in Saginaw, is huge. The amount of influence that the faith community has on the care and the lives of people in this community, it touches every aspect of their life, the faith community does.
This is why we believe that Open Table is good for Saginaw, because it helps us diverse congregation to become a congregation of one, a community of one, all wrapped around the idea of helping the community to improve one person at a time. And it's the Open Table model. It's because of John Katoff that Open Table is here.
John Katoff was blessed with an amazing mission to help the least of these.
We were leaving the plenary session, and there's John Katoff with a booth set up outside with this Open Table sign and banner. He and Pastor Coleman wound up sharing a moment, having a conversation, and both of these grown men were literally tearful at this connection, and in such a short period of time, this heartfelt connection.
That when I heard the director of SAMHSA say to agencies that there's only a limit of what we can do, and in order for us to fulfill this promise, we've got to connect with the faith community to deliver people from the transaction relationship to a transformation. That sparked in something in me, and when I saw Open Table, I walked right into it.
But most of our ministries have been transactional based. We provide goods and services, but we don't get to know anyone that we're ministering to or serving. And that leaves a hollow feeling in your heart.
So we've had, I think, wonderful contributions from our faith community in Saginaw historically. They have tended to be very tangible, right? Goods and services, school starting, let's make sure kids have school supplies. These are all really important and needed things, but they're not transformational in nature, right? They help people in the moment, which is a very important thing if you're in the moment and you need something. But I think the complexities of some of the challenges that our citizens have are long-lasting and sometimes multi-generational. So some of the solutions I think that Open Table puts in the hands of the faith community are by their very nature transformational.
We're great at giving things away, but really they don't do anything at helping that person come out of poverty. Open Table is a program, a model of ministry that helps to transition and grow the person from poverty to community.
When I first heard about Open Table and I saw the diagram of the table mapped out in all the different positions, transportation, healthcare, and everyone surrounding one person in need, I knew that it was going to come to our church.
And the Open Table is such an amazing resource because it just doesn't address one area. It addresses their education, it addresses their health, it addresses their employment, it addresses their mental state, it addresses their total being. So the Open Table, it really addresses the total man.
I love the fact that Open Table's model does not enable people. They actually teach the leadership skills. They actually say, you know what? I'm not going to give you the fish. I'm going to show you how to fish. And I love that model.
It's so simplistic. John Katoff, where have you been? SAMHSA, what were we thinking that we didn't bring these two together.
So this is how the partnership works. It's government and faith working together to do something that individually we could not do on our own, to bring about a real transformation. Open Table is the amalgam of the government services and faith services doing what they do best. It's an incredible partnership, changing our community one life at a time.
One of the core values, is reaching out to community partners and system partners, and to make a stronger collaboration of resources for families to utilize. And we identified that the faith-based was an integral part for our families and our community in particular.
One of the cornerstones, I think, of the entire System of Care initiative has been our connection with the faith community.
Some of the work that we do and some of the partnering that we do, the work we do through System of Care, one of the goals from the very beginning is how do you sustain that work? And I think some of the ability to sustain that is by using those natural resources and by using the faith community, which is one of the natural resources for families to help support the effort.
I think that System of Care has so much knowledge that we can just gather information from that wealth of knowledge that they already have and really minister to where people are at.
I am eternally grateful for Systems of Care and their heart to reach children, people, the community.
It is amazing the resources and the professionalism and the skills, the resources in the community that the churches have no idea are available.
Our services are by their very nature time limited. So we need to make sure that we're working jointly with natural supports, in this case Open Table, right, to surround a family and a child with supports that are much longer lasting than we could ever provide.
Faith-based is a resource and a system for our families. Whether we recognize it or not, it is just as important as a school, as Department of Human Services, as any other clinician or therapist. And so our faith-based community is one of our systems.
I think that it's very important for us to understand that the faith community, the church, is here to stay. And we, Saginaw County, we've had a great deal of transition, but the faith community, the church, is here to stay, which means that Open Table, there is no expiration date. Open Table will remain in this community with that foundation for many, many years to come.
It really is, in a lot of ways, the fulfillment of the wraparound model, in that Open Table is made up of completely natural supports, people who very likely will remain in relationship with that brother or sister long after the social services have ended.
The best partnerships are the ones where everyone wins, where there's equal sharing of both work and victory. The churches have the benefit of being able to work with government agencies and provide for them resources that they would not normally have while they do what they do. To the community, it's being changed one life at a time. So every effort of investment of an individual at a table into another individual enhances the community. The agencies have this limited duration on what they can do, and they do it so well. But the Open Table provides so that now it's an investment that has ongoing productivity. So what the agency does today will last on forever.
As far as the church community is concerned, it's pretty exciting that people who are a part of a local congregation of a church can minister alongside of their friends, their brothers and sisters in their faith, and that they can come around and work together in order to help to change one life or the lives of a family.
We've been able to use some people who I never would have thought would have gotten active and involved at the table. So Open Table has just been a phenomenal blessing for us as a ministry, and I look forward to seeing what else it's going to do, not only in Saginaw, but across this beautiful nation.
It goes past the leader into the congregation to have people in the congregation involved in external ministry.
And I think it also provides believers an opportunity to do something together in community. So it's not something that we're all just kind of doing on our own. It's something that works well within the church. I think one of the biggest blessings for me getting involved in promoting and launching Open Table within the last year has been getting to know other local ministers and their ministries.
So I think Open Table offers everybody who's connected to it something, right? It offers tools to a congregation, tangible tools and a model to help them really help someone transform their life. It becomes so much easier as a professional to appreciate that your client, right, or the family that you're working with is getting even more than what you can deliver in a weekly appointment or a weekly home visit or a monthly home visit.
I strongly believe this. As much as we help these individuals, we're going to be helped even more individually.
As a mental health professional, I'm really excited about Open Table because I think it will give me the opportunity to go and work with brothers and sisters on the table in a more personal level than what I traditionally do in the secular community.
One of the things that I saw was that it not only seems to have the great potential to help another person, but that it has the great transformative potential to bring believers to another level of intimacy with the problems around us. And I think that's a Christ-like model.
It really has served as a project that is uniting the church community here in Saginaw.
And one of the things that has always stopped community activities where it involves more than one church is that you reach a goal and then there's nothing left. Open Table is open-ended. It will never stop.
I think ultimately for all of us, though, whether we are a part of the social sector or we are a part of the faith community, it's an opportunity to listen and to learn from those who are in poverty. We can all come as listeners and learners, and I think as a result of taking that posture, not necessarily as a teacher, but as a student from our brothers and sisters who are in poverty, we become better people. We grow as well.
Saginaw, Michigan, our community. We had no idea that we were being chosen as one of the places that the Open Table would demonstrate the ability to actually help people move from poverty to self-sustaining lifestyle. This model helps us to bring diverse congregations together and government and community all to be in a partnership to help change lives. We know that Scripture tells us that the poor you have with you always. We also know that we ought to always serve the poor. This helps government, faith, and community to do just that, the Open Table.